All right. Hello, guys. It's Pavita from quaranTIME. We are doing our second video in our quaranTIME series. And today I'm with my friend Sarah from Michigan. And we're just going to ask her a few questions about her experiences in quarantine and in isolation and just what all she's been up to. As you know, we're living in some stressful, crazy times right now. So it's more important than ever that we connect with one another, share our stories, and support one another. So, Sarah, maybe you could just start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to and how you've been spending your time these days.
Sure. I live on the west side of Michigan in Grand Rapids. Normally, I teach middle school choir, which I'm still doing, but everything's gone remote. So it's been a big shift for us. This is our spring break, and with Michigan schools being closed till the end of the year, now we are able to move ahead and teach students new material starting from next week on to the end of the year. So that's kind of a challenge as a middle school choir teacher to teach online, but I'm always up for a challenge, up to be creative. While I've been at home, I've been working out a lot on quaranTIME, teaching some dance fitness classes. I've been baking up a storm, which my husband loves, and FaceTiming my twin sister like constantly.
Awesome. What have you been baking?
This week it was chocolate chip biscotti. And then today I'm making, my family has a traditional peanut butter Easter pie that's like frozen, and then you shave an Easter bunny on top. And so it's like delicious.
That sounds amazing. So anybody who's watching, book a baking session with Sarah on quaranTIME.
Oh, yeah.
Also dance fitness, singing, Spanish, anything else you want to learn. Sarah is a lady of many talents. Yeah, so you mentioned a little bit about this transition from in-school learning to online learning. Tell us a little bit more about that. What has that process been like, and what have you found to be challenging? What have you found to be effective in interacting with the students?
Yeah, so luckily my district is one-to-one, which means all our students have their own personal device. They all have Chromebooks. So luckily we already had that in place where we knew our students had like a way of connecting. Not all of our students have internet though, which has been kind of an ongoing issue for our district, but I think they've given out some like hotspots to those families, which is great. There's also a lot of internet companies that are offering free internet with the schools being out of session for the rest of the year. Some things that were challenging for me at first was just that it took a while for students to realize and kind of like get in a routine. So I mean, a big part of being a choir teacher is seeing kids face to face and like those connections and hearing everybody all together. So this shift has turned it more like one-on-one, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because there are some students that are kind of afraid to have that one-on-one instruction. And this kind of alters it. It puts a little bit more responsibility on each student, which, like I said, isn't a bad thing. It's kind of a good thing to be multifaceted. But yeah, just kind of getting those routines established at first, with the students knowing, okay, I need to check at this time for an assignment and I need to be responsible for that, even though it might not be counting for like a letter grade because our Michigan government has decided not to hold it against students if they can't complete the assignments, but still like having that ownership of like, I want to learn, and knowing that like the next year they're still going to be expected to have tried those things. So that's been like the biggest struggle. And for me personally, it's just like, I miss giving the high fives and getting the hugs and like hearing the kids, like they give me so much energy during the day. So sometimes I feel like I'm shouting into the void. And then I always, of course, jump with joy when I get an email from them, anything like that. So it's definitely been a big shift for me as a large classroom teacher. But like I said, always up for a challenge and a chance to be creative in a new way.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned that you jump for joy whenever you get an email from them. So it seems like you're still getting that interaction with the students. What would you say is your most heartfelt or most touching email you've gotten from a student during this time?
I have a student who like has given me a hug every day since 6th grade. I've had her for the past 2 years, and she was unfortunately not there the last day we had class. And so she's been emailing me saying like, I'm sending you virtual hugs, which is so sweet because I would have her last hour of my day. And sometimes I'd be like, I just need a hug. And then getting a hug from her would just like, make me feel so good. So even getting a little bit of that virtually, honestly, hearing from some of the kids that you wouldn't expect to hear from, those are the kids that have been reaching out the most, saying things like, I miss little random things that you didn't even know were so important to kids. Those have been really, really sweet.
That's so special. Well, I'm sending you a virtual hug, Sarah. So tell us, what was your first reaction when you found out that school was going to be closed for the foreseeable future and now for the rest of the school year?
Yeah, honestly, in Michigan, we found out on a Thursday that we had the first case of coronavirus in Michigan. And we were supposed to have this huge music concert and parent-teacher conferences, and those got canceled. And we're like, okay, well, you know, kind of makes sense, but like, we're just going to keep going on this routine as normal. The next morning I woke up and checked, and I had like 50 emails, and I was like, what is going on? And the schools were like, today's our last day until another month. And I like started crying because like I love that one-on-one time with my kids and like getting to see them in person and hear their voices. And so I was honestly like really upset. And I was just thinking, well, you know, it will just be a month, so it'll be okay. But over the past couple weeks, even before anything was announced, I was just thinking this is going to be a full year thing. So I was kind of already preparing myself for that decision to be made. And so when it was, I think my students realized for the first time that this isn't like a break. Like they were thinking of it as like extra spring break, but they're like, this is like, I'm not going to see my classmates again. So I think it's just starting to hit for them. And me too, like now that it's been about a month, it seems like, okay, well, it's only April, so we have a while to get used to this.
Yeah. And what special plans has this darn coronavirus put on hold or gotten in the way of?
Yeah, well, this week honestly has been one of the hardest weeks because I had the most things get canceled for this upcoming week. So with Easter, usually I go see my family on the other side of the state, which obviously has been put on hold. My sister and I have a fashion blog that, Two Scoops of Style, and we were supposed to be going on this really awesome business trip with a brand that was like a once in a lifetime thing, and that's been postponed for the foreseeable future. That was supposed to be Monday. And then my sister's bridal shower is supposed to be this upcoming Saturday. And then a memorial service for my godmother all this week, right? It's just like the week of things getting canceled. All those things have been just kind of like, what's going on? Everything's been postponed. So this week has been kind of a bummer just because everything else has been kind of like, okay, just doing my norm. But this week it was like, man, these were things I was looking forward to doing. And I was supposed to be going to Italy this summer, which obviously is not going to be happening. So, but trying to make some of those things virtual if we can. You know, the only consolation is that we're all in the same situation. Yeah. So, you know, it's the Me Too version of this. Everybody, oh me, yeah, this is canceled for me. So at least, you know, everybody can sympathize with each other, and everybody's working together for creative solutions, which is a great chance for us all to kind of bond and group together in this time of isolation.
Yeah. Yeah, so it sounds like it's been really challenging for you, especially this week. What would you say has helped you cope with some of those challenges and setbacks?
Definitely staying active. I feel like we can all get in this rut of sitting, and then it just makes you feel lazy and kind of depressed. So I've been setting alarms on my phone, and my friend, actually, I saw her do this. I thought it was great. Every hour she's been doing like 10 push-ups or 10 jumping jacks, just to like get up and have to turn off that alarm and then be like, okay, do I want to sit back down or do I want to go do something else? So just those little bits of building in activity and working out through quaranTIME has been great. That also helps with social interactions since it's just me and my husband here. Like getting to see other people and talk and work out together is something I love. And then getting outside, even if it's cold, even it's cold here in Michigan, but just like standing outside for a couple minutes, getting that vitamin D and the sunlight can really just turn your day around.
Yeah, absolutely. So switching gears a little bit, what has been your favorite thing about being in quarantine?
My favorite thing. Well, two things. I teach about half an hour away from my school, or I live about half an hour from my school. So I normally have to get up at 5 a.m. because I work out before school. But I've been able to sleep in until like 6:30, which for me as a morning person is like prime time. And I've gotten to spend a lot more time with my husband because he's a music teacher also, and we like never get to see each other in the evenings this time of year since I'm usually working on the musical until like 6 p.m. every night. So we've had more time together, and I've been able to get a little bit more sleep, which has been great.
So you and your husband haven't driven each other too crazy yet.
No, he's like the yin to my yang. Like he knows exactly when I need some time to myself. He knows when like I need a good cuddle. And I've been so grateful for that because he just knows when I need those things. I'm like, thank you. Because I don't think I would be able to get through it without him.
Well, shout out to your husband, Andrew. If you're watching, we love you. What would you say is the craziest or strangest thing that you've done during this time?
Craziest or strangest things? Well, I learned my first TikTok dance, which my students had been telling me like I needed to do for a long time. And then in a moment of like, I miss them, I'm going to make this video that they're going to laugh at. I posted it on TikTok and they like, I think every one of my followers on TikTok is my students and they just loved it. I know they just passed it around each other because the comments were all them. So that was really fun. It was a challenge and I got a good laugh out of that.
Nice. Any chance you'd like to show us that dance?
Oh, I'm trying to remember do I remember it? You guys can check out on my TikTok too.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
The video will do it better justice than
Yeah. Any important lessons learned or words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our viewers?
This is just a really good time to remember to not take those little things for granted. Whether it's like, when someone asks you to hang out and you're like, oh, I'm kind of tired. Like, I think I'll just stay home. Like there are now moments where I'm like, I just wish I could go back and say yes to those things since I can't, or give people one last hug. Also remember to support local because local businesses are really struggling during this time. A lot of local businesses are even doing like curbside. I ordered some like baked goods through a local company that's been closed, but they just opened for Easter weekend. So just really checking out how you can support local and staying home and stay safe.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. We really appreciate it. It sounds like, you've made the best out of a unfortunate situation, and our viewers definitely have a lot to learn from you. So thank you for your time. Again, this is our quaranTIME series. So if you're interested in being featured, sharing your stories and experiences with us, we would love to hear from you. You definitely have something of value to share and can benefit our viewers everywhere. So thank you so much. Have a great day and enjoy your quaranTIME.
Thanks, Vita. Bye.
Bye.